Our next guest is a San Diego State grad whose master thesis film is debuting at the San Diego Latino Film Festival. I'd like to welcome Mauricio Chernovetsky to the show. Thanks so much for being here with us, Mauricio.
Thanks for having me.
How did you become a filmmaker?
That's a long story, but I've been fascinated with cinema for a while. I actually studied history of religions in college, but I was watching so much film, and eventually I just decided that that was really where I wanted to go, you know. And I think for me, it was watching, I mean, the part of me, the Mexican part of me, it was for the first time watching Luis Buñuel's El Ángel Exterminador, The Exterminating Angel. I watched that when I was 18, and I was so blown away by it. I said, how people can get away with making films that not only are so visually interesting, but really provocative and make you think and make you see things in a different way. And I think that was the beginning, in a way.
Now, you've traveled to different parts of the world to build your filmmaking skills, but you've also studied here locally at San Diego State. How is that for you?
Well, it was I like the balance. You know, I lived in Poland for 2.5 years. I did a director training program at the National Polish Film School. So I had that was a very strong kind of more European background for filmmaking. And the San Diego State program was nice because it was really production kind of focused, you know, hands-on. And it allowed me to work with people who really wanted to get involved, you know, making films, crews, and I had a lot of resources and a lot of support.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, while you were there, you made a film called Cassandra. Please tell us about Cassandra.
Cassandra was actually, I was chosen to do a scene for something called The Jury at San Diego State. And they'd chosen The Trojan Women, which is a Euripides play. And my advisor, Greg Durbin, suggested that I look at this play because he thought I'd find it interesting, and he was completely right. The atmosphere was very different from, I had read Euripides plays, and I actually liked other Greek traditions more. But what I liked about this play was that it wasn't as, it wasn't very linear. It was all about this atmosphere of this place where the women were left behind, the Trojan women were left behind. The men had, you know, gone off to war, they'd been destroyed, and their future was really uncertain. It's kind of apocalyptic, but really kind of, I don't know, it spoke to me a lot about some of the things that people are experiencing today. It felt really relevant, and I like that kind of atmosphere. Plus, it also had a lot of potential, mythical potential, which I'm really interested in myth, and so I was able to kind of tap into that, and I made part of the film for The Jury, and then I kind of explored a whole other kind of story that I created to complement Cassandra's journey into to meet Agamemnon.
And so you took that theme and put a Mexican twist to it.
Yeah, thank you. I decided to adapt it to to kind of a border town.
Yes.
Where the mother, Hecuba, has a makeshift kind of bar and brothel, and she's very protective of her daughter, who, you know, people think is very strange, and she seems to have premonitions, and she's a bit unstable. But eventually, you know, the film that I made kind of deals a lot more with the way her fantasy world takes over.
Right. Well, let's take a look at a clip of Cassandra right now.
Madre, lloras y lamentas la muerte de mi padre y mis hermanos, por estas mujeres desesperadas y degradadas.
Such a beautiful film. How was the experience for you putting all this together?
It's, you know, like making films it's not very glamorous, you know, in some ways, because it's like one step at a time, and there's so many challenges, but it's wonderful. I mean, it's what I want to do, and it's this particular film was interesting because we we shot, like for example, that scene that we just saw, we shot it across the border, and it required us bringing all kinds of equipment, very expensive equipment across the border, and dealing with the border guards from Mexico who were very suspicious, and then eventually setting things up over there. And I brought a good friend of mine and a cinematographer all the way from Poland to work with me on this film. So we had a very rich kind of collaboration. So it was great. It was a great experience.
Well, thank you, Mauricio, and good luck to you in your future. Cassandra will be in the Latino Film Festival on March 12th at 6:30. Still to come, meet another San Diego State grad who wrote, directed, and acted in a film inspired by her personal experiences.